Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and we're going to talk about 25 cases of present perfect or 25 different situations when you need actually to use present perfect. Just imagine it, so you can support this video with your likes and shares, thank you. So let's have a look at it. So the first situation is with already. So if you have already, you need to use present perfect. For example, I have already been there. Look, I'll type it for you. I have, and what is present perfect? How do we form present perfect? So if you remember it correctly, so have or has plus the third form. Have or has plus the third form. So we put already in the middle. So you see the number, then the time marker, and then the position. In the beginning, in the middle, or in the end. So we put it in the middle. So it's very important to know actually the position of these words to speak English correctly, okay? So you can save it. Okay, so I have already been there. So be, so the second form is was or were, and been. So I have already been there. And you know that native speakers usually say it like this. So I've, so it's a short form. It's a short form. Or there is another name for it, contraction. Contraction, okay? So it's a contraction. So native speakers mostly use short forms or contractions. So it's a contraction. So I've already been there. And you see that, so we use present perfect with already, and it's in the middle. Okay, so next, so what's next? So let's get back to this slide. So just, so in the middle. For example, she's just returned. Listen, she's just returned, or she's just come back. So maybe you can think that she's means she is, but it isn't, it means she has. And this word, this form tells us about it that it's present perfect. You see ed, it's the third form, so it means she has, not she is. She has just returned, or she's just returned. Okay, next, yet. So we use it, in negative sentence, in the end. For example, I haven't done it yet. Okay? I haven't done it yet. So please remember, my friend, that we put it in the end, yet, in negative sentences. So negative haven't or hasn't. Next, never. So if there is a connection with the present, so we use present perfect. For example, I've never been to that place. I've never been to that place. I've never been to that place. So you see that we put never in the middle. So, and please remember that in present perfect, if you look at present perfect, we use been to. So if it were past simple, so we would say I was in that place maybe 2 years ago, because you know that we use past simple with ago and last year, but with present perfect, we use been to with present perfect, only to. I've never been to that place. Next, ever. We use ever in questions. For example, have you ever been to this country? So middle position. Have you ever been to this country? Have you ever been to this country? Ever in questions. Good. What's next? So many times, okay, when it's true up to now, many times. So I've said it many times. I've said it many times. I've said it many times. It means that I said it some time ago and I'm still saying it, and so that's true. Up to now, I've said it many times. Good. So, or different combinations with times, for example, twice, 2 times, okay? So, I've been to Italy twice. I've been to Italy twice. And that's true up to now. There is a connection with the present. I've been to Italy twice or 2 times. She's been to Canada 2 times. She's been to Canada. She's been to Canada 2 times. She's been to Canada 2 times, yeah? Okay. So you see, 3 times. So as you see, we put it in the answer, like 2 times or 3 times. Okay. So I've met him 3 times. I've met him 3 times. So only 3 times, no more. No more than 3 times. I've met him 3 times. Okay, just let's revise it shortly. Okay, so present perfect. It's have or has plus the third form. So you see, if you have a look at the verb be, you see be was a verb and been. So we call it the third form. Or we also call it, so there is another name for it, so as you might know, so we call it past participle. We call it past participle, okay? So I've already been there. So really, in reality, we mostly use short forms or so-called contractions. I've already been there. She's just returned. I haven't done it yet. I've never been to that place. Have you ever been to this country? I've said it many times. Okay, so next. I've been to Italy twice. She's been to Canada 2 times. I've met him 3 times. Okay, next. So 10. So many times. So many times. For example, he has mentioned it so many times. He has mentioned it. Mentioned it or said it so many times. So we use it with so many times. He's mentioned it so many times. Okay, so next. So different actually phrases or expressions with this. So we put them in the end. So this week, this month, this year. For example, I've called him this week. I've called him this week. So this week we put it in the end. Or this month. For example, I can say that I've got this letter this month. I've got or I've received this letter this month. Next, this year. He's won this year. He's won this year. It means he has won this year. He's won this year. So you know that we use he, she, it with has, and I and have with I, we, you, they. Or they are short forms. He's won this year. Good. Then have a look at today, so we can see it in the beginning or in the end. For example, so we have had a very interesting conversation today. We have had a very interesting conversation today. Or we've had a very interesting conversation today. So recently or lately, it means that it's not a long time ago. It isn't a long time ago. So, for example, I haven't seen him recently. I haven't seen him recently or lately. It means that I haven't seen him maybe for the last 2 days, 3 days, so not a long time ago, recently or lately. Okay, very important words. So students often ask me, but in fact it's easier. Recently or lately, it means not a long time ago. So we use present perfect. Or so far, look. He hasn't arrived so far. He hasn't arrived so far. Or he hasn't arrived yet. Actually, if we look at these two words, yet and so far, so we use yet much more often than so far, but anyway, so far can also take place. Okay, so you see, my friend, then you see ever since or since. So ever since and since. So 18 and 20. So you see. Okay, ever since. So we can put them in the end. For example, I haven't seen him ever since. I haven't seen him ever since means since that time. Ever since means since that time, or you can use since. For example, I haven't seen him since we graduated from university. But you can't put, since in the end. You can't put it in the end. So you can't say I haven't seen him since. You need to say ever since, or since something, yeah? You need to use a certain expression or a certain phrase after since. I haven't seen him since we graduated. We graduated from university. I think that you remember that we say finish school, but graduate from university. So I haven't seen him since we graduated from university, or ever since. But actually, some people say that ever since sounds stronger, so it's stronger than since. Okay, so let's revise it shortly. So he's mentioned it so many times. I've called him this week. I've got this letter this month. He's won this year. We've had a very interesting conversation today. I haven't seen him recently, or I haven't seen him lately. He hasn't arrived so far. He hasn't arrived so far. Okay, thank you. I see what you mean. I haven't seen him ever since. I haven't seen him since we graduated from university. Okay. So we also need to have a look, at for, since, and how long, yeah? And just I want to tell you something, yeah, related to these words. So you see it's for, since, and how long. The thing is that we normally use present perfect continuous with these words. Present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous. So, for example, I've been living here for 10 years. I've been living here for 10 years, but it's also possible to say, I've lived here. I've lived here for 10 years. I've lived here for 10 years. It's also possible, yeah? For example, if you look at how long have you been learning English? How long have you been learning English? So we use present perfect continuous. And the thing is that sometimes, you see some verbs and we can't use them in continuous. For example, like no, we can't say it in continuous. And we'll say, so how long have you known each other? How long have you known? How long have you known each other? How long have you known each other? So you see, but normally you see we use present perfect continuous with these words. Anyway, present perfect can also take place. Yeah, you see. All right. So what's next? So and two more situations and two more expressions. So this morning, this evening. For example, we use it when we see the result. Okay, let me give you an example. So 22. So but let's revise it shortly. So you see present perfect continuous. So I've been living here for 10 years and I've lived here for 10 years. How long have you been learning English? So a very common question. So no, how long have you known each other? Okay, so when we see the result. Okay, so right, so 22, when we see the result, we see the result. For example, so what does it mean? I've lost my keys. I've lost my keys. I can't find them. I can't find them. So we see the result. So there is a connection. There is a connection. There is a connection with the present. And we say, I've lost my keys. Really? Where are my keys? Or where are my keys? I've lost my keys. I can't find them. Okay, next. So 23. So what about 23? So it's true up to now. For example, I've been to India, good, and Brazil. What about you? I've been to India and Brazil. So that's true up to now. Yeah, that's true up to now. And so we also use present perfect with such expressions as this morning and this evening. Okay? I can tell you, for example, she's visited us. She's visited us. She's visited us this morning or this evening. Okay? So very important things. Yeah? Good. So, and you know that we mostly use, present perfect with I've been to. You just need to remember that. So if there are such phrases or expressions as, last year, last month or with ago, we need to use past simple. Otherwise, we need to use present perfect. I've been to India, I've been to Brazil, I've been to China, I've been to Russia, and so on. Okay? So, I really hope that you find this information extremely useful. Yeah, thank you very much. So I really hope that it was a great job. Thank you. Good luck. Bye.